during which reference is made to Canada's legendary Hart family. That match was recorded a few weeks ago prior to the tragic death of Owen Hart at an event in the United States this past weekend. Live TV have very kindly given me this time to express the deep sympathy felt by all the UWA wrestlers for Owen Hart's family and friends.
Last week on UWA Wrestling Rampage, we saw Steve Knight distract the referee as Chris Daniels took the pinfall win with last rites over the anarchist Doug Williams to claim the 10th spot in the UWA television title tournament.
What Stevie Knight did last week, Kenny, was despicable. Purely and utterly despicable. And Doug Williams has now got to go into that 10-man tournament in first position. A hard task for anyone.
The Fallen Angel, of course, takes 10th position in that TV title tournament, and it seems like that title has been handed to him on a plate, while Doug Williams has got the fight of his life on his hands if he wants to be the first UWA television champion.
You want to see some heavy stuff? We're going to be here.
Hello and welcome once again to UWA Wrestling Rampage, bringing you an hour of the best in British wrestling today. As you've just seen, the anarchist Doug Williams was defeated last week by the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, with a little help from hot stuff Stevie Knight. And that result has dramatic consequences for the 10-man tournament for the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance television title that will take place right here in just a couple of weeks. We now know that the anarchist will be the first to enter the ring for that match, and under the winner-stays-on rules, he will have to defeat 9 other top UWA athletes in order to claim that TV championship. We'll hear from the anarchist later on in the hour, and we'll see exclusive footage of what happened when Doug Williams caught up with Stevie Knight in the locker rooms after the match. Plus, we'll talk to another important TV title contender. Phil Powers is standing by with Jamila, and we'll have a word with him in just a few moments. We'll learn more about shadowy UWA official Dino Scarlo, and we'll witness a blockbusting international match as Tiger Mask battles to defeat Gran Naniwa within a 10-minute time limit. But right now, we're set for tag team action. The All-Nighters have journeyed all the way from Canada to compete against British favourites Too Far Gone. Let's head down to ringside for that contest, but on our way, we'll check in with Jamila, who has a few questions about the TV title tournament for Phil Powers.
You must be a strong contender. What do you think of your chances?
Bet I'm a strong contender. It seems like just lately everybody in the UWA's out to get the Fly Phil Powers. I don't care who's in this tournament. You've got Kerry Cabrero, the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, Mad Dog Stuart Murphy. It's over the top rope and it's pinfalls. It doesn't...
The worry about Powers is me.
Oh, for Christ's sake, do I go great crashing yours? I can't just get out of it. Whoa! Ah! God! Ah, damn it! Come on, what's your problem? Get out of it! Ah! Ah, damn it! Ah! Ah! Oh! Ah! Let it go! Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! What's going on here? Ah! Damn it! Oh! Ah! Damn it! Ah! Ah!
You right, son? You're in.
Will you please welcome the lady with the big city tips, Tiffany Bannister!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once more to the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance Wrestling Rampage as we see Live TV's Tiffany Bannister make her way to the ring. But Steve, what did we just see with Phil Powers, Mad Dog McPhee and Johnny Storm?
Kenny, I'm going to tell you, I'm in 7th heaven at the moment. 7th heaven. Not only have I got the lovely Tiffany to ogle here, but I've also seen Phil Powers get a good kicking.
Well, it's good to see your moral fibre riding so high, Steve. But Phil Powers was just doing an interview back there. He was doing an interview, just talking about his matches coming up, and out of nowhere, Mad Dog McPhee and Johnny Storm interjected themselves.
Shut up, Kenny. Tiffany speaking.
Set for 1 fall or submission. And first, on the tag team of Steve Morocco and Paul Tyrell. Hey!
Well, here they come, Steve Morgan, Paul Tyrell, Steve Morocco, too far gone. But right now, I think what's more pressing is Phil Power's condition. We're still waiting on word from backstage to see how he's doing. That was a major, major attack.
Now, I was going to say, before Too Far Gone's entrance, you were blathering on about how Phil Powers had been picked upon.
Well, Steve, once again, the Linsky mob has just attacked Phil Powers. They're victimizing Phil Powers and taking every chance they can to weaken him.
You know Linsky will sue. You know Linsky will sue you.
I don't think he can.
That
because
is slander.
I believe
Kenny
it.
McBride. That is slander. I think simply what had happened was Phil Powers, yes, Phil Powers had used Mad Dog's brush without asking.
Okay. Their opponents join us all the way from Canada, having trained at the famous Hart family dungeon. They are known as the greatest cruiserweight tag team in America and arrived with one simple aim, to prove to Britain that North America has the finest wrestlers in the world. Both standing 5'10", they weigh collective 444 pounds. Hello, come on, boys!
Well, here come a team, Steve, that we don't know very much about. Joey Knight and Roman Nightwing, the all-nighters. And I think we can tell, just from looking at them, that they're Canadian and they're proud of it.
There's nothing much to be proud of, really, is there, Kenny?
Well, I don't know about that. We've seen some great wrestlers come out of Canada, but these two seem more like two clowns.
What are they doing?
Well, I don't know, Steve, but I think Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco are going to give them a hell of a match tonight.
Well, I certainly hope so, Kenny. Over recent weeks, we've seen a number of our foreign friends come over here and wrestle. Most notably last week, the fallen angel Christopher Daniels, who I thought was a disgrace.
Well, of course, Christopher Daniels, as we saw last week with the interference from Steve Knight, Chris Daniels will now take that 10th spot in the upcoming UWA television title tournament. But these two teams now vying for a spot. We know that the tag team titles for the UWA, the first ever UWA tag team champions, are going to be decided in Blackpool just a few weeks from now. And both these teams really want to make their mark, show the UWA officials what they're capable of, so that they can make sure they get the shot at the tag team titles.
Well, Kenny, you know I'm a clean living young man. You know that, and I appreciate fair play. I just hope that the all-nighters play fair, unlike that yank Christopher Daniels.
Well, we're about to see just what kind of match we're going to get out of these people. Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco, we know, very, very gifted athletes. They had a very tough match against the Death Squad just a few weeks ago here on UWA Wrestling Rampage. And they lost. It was a close match, but here they have a chance to redeem themselves by beating their international counterparts. And speaking of international superstars, we've got them from all over the world here in the UWA. We saw Chris Daniels last week from the US. We're seeing the all-nighters right now from Canada. And of course, later on today, we'll be seeing Gran Naniwa versus Tiger Mask, all the way from Japan.
Lovely move there.
One of the all-nighters there, strutting his stuff. But here come Too Far Gone with a double kick. And now a big double suplex, taking down one of the all-nighters. I'm not sure which one that is, but they hip toss the other one. We have Knight and we have Nightwing. I'm not sure which is which. Like I say, I don't know these teams well. As Tyrell and Morocco go with a couple of arm drags there. And now, double baseball slide. Takes down both all-nighters.
Kenny, you've got to admire the all-nighters. As wrestlers and as men, they are completely spherical. Aren't they? Well, that's a perfect circle there.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment for these guys or not, but they certainly seem to be going to work now on Paul Tyrell. Excuse me, Steve Morocco. What's this now? Double bulldog! These guys, you can talk all you want about what shape they are, but they're showing right now what good wrestlers they are. 1, 2.
The All-Nighters are little bullets of men, Kenny.
And they're tagging in now. The other one coming in. Again, folks, I'm sorry. I don't know which is which with these two guys.
I think Knight's the fat one.
Thank you for your help, Steve. What are they doing now?
That's lovely. Look
Little
at
dance.
that. Oh.
And a double elbow drop.
You've got to appreciate their natural rhythm.
Well, if that's what you want to call it, Steve, then you go right ahead.
Speaking of rhythm, actually, Kenny, I don't think Phil Powers will be doing much dancing just recently.
Well, no, we're still waiting on word from backstage. We understand he is getting some kind of treatment, but we don't know quite what happened to him. He's just in a lot of pain as far as we can tell right now. We will get you a more detailed update later on in the show.
Do you know
as
what,
Paul
Kenny?
Tyrell comes off the top rope with a big elbow.
Kenny, I would hate to think that Phil Powers is now going to be injured for that 10-man tournament. I mean, I really can't bear to think of that.
Well, it's going to be tough. Phil Powers, we saw him get his ribs broken by Mad Dog McPhee during a match just a few weeks ago. Mad Dog, of course, now has had that training in the Scrapyard that we saw last week.
Yes, and viewers, we will be able to shed some light on the murky wrestling underworld run by Dino Scarlo later in the show. Thanks to Kenny McBride, who's been quite the investigative journalist. Kenny, you're a man of many talents.
Well, thank you, Steve. And here goes Paul Tyrell now. Picks one of the all-nighters up. Big body slam. Folks, we've got to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, wrestling fans. We're back with the action here on UWA Wrestling Rampage as the all-nighters going to work on Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco. Here he comes. We think this is Joey Knight with a big spinning dive off the apron.
You know, seeing the all-nighters wrestle here, Kenny, it makes me wonder whether or not Vanessa Feltz should appear on a UWA bill.
Oh, come on. Vanessa Feltz hasn't had half the training that these boys have had. They've been through the Hart family dungeon as Paul Tyrell with a massive dive off the top rope, taking out all 3 men, in fact. And we're going to get another look at that great dive. Brilliant dive from Nightwing there. And another great dive from Paul Tyrell off the top rope. As Paul Tyrell tags in Steve Morocco now. Later in the show, fans, we'll be seeing Tiger Mask versus Gran Naniwa in a tremendous Japanese match. But here, Paul Tyrell comes off the top rope. Big elbow drop in that side slam. Cover, 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco making their mark on the tag team division here in the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance.
Kenny, I think the all-nighters should have made it an early night.
Perhaps you're right, Steve. Perhaps you're right.
They're pretty hungry after that.
Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco celebrating the victory, getting their hands raised, and taking a couple extra shots at the all-nighters for no good reason, really.
There's always a good reason for it, Kenny. Come on.
But the all-nighters are now out of the ring, and Tyrell and Morocco telling the world just how good they think they are. They believe that they're ready for the tag team titles. As we see the finish here again, Paul Tyrell coming off the top with that big elbow drop and scoring the pinfall. 1, 2, 3.
Well, you can be sure with that member of the all-nighters that both lads there had a soft landing. Actually, I'm surprised he didn't bounce. He looks like a little bouncy ball.
And we understand, I'm just getting word from the back that we are going to get some word on how Phil Powers is doing backstage. As we see the all-nighters, one all-nighter carrying the other one out.
That's nice to see that, a bit of support there for one another. That's what you need in tag team wrestling.
But what you need more in tag team wrestling is the high-flying skills of Paul Tyrell and Steve Morocco.
After being beaten by the Death Squad a couple of weeks ago, Too Far Gone are making the most of this one.
Too Far Gone celebrating a well-earned victory and hoping for greater glory in the tag team division. However, before the match, we saw Phil Powers suffer a cowardly and vicious attack at the hands of Johnny Storm and Mad Dog McPhee.
Get out of it! Ah! Ah, damn it! Ah! Ah!
Here we see Phil Powers receiving medical attention, and we can only hope that this latest outrage will not affect Phil's chances in the TV title tournament in 2 weeks' time. The man we saw breaking up the fight, albeit with very little in the way of compassion, was UWA official Dino Scarlo. We saw him last week, officiating a barely legal fight between Mad Dog McPhee and Tom Monroe. According to Steve Linsky, this scrapyard brawl was Mad Dog's way of training for the TV title tournament, pushing himself to new levels of endurance before finishing Monroe with a brutal pile driver on the roof of an abandoned vehicle. Linsky bragged about how the match would be a nice little money earner for him, and subsequent investigations have revealed that Dino Scarlo has been abusing his position as a UWA official, organising matches in a scrapyard for the financial gain of certain interested parties. Dino Scarlo has been taking advantage of many up-and-coming athletes by telling them that the only route to success in the UWA is to take part in these brutal outdoor no-holds-barred contests. Kenny McBride has the details.
The scene, a scrapyard. Two men vying for entry into the UWA under the watchful eye of UWA official Dino Scarlo.
Right, boys. I think you know the score. I've heard good things. Professional.
Last week, we saw Mad Dog McPhee take part in a brutal, no-holds-barred contest against street fighter Tom Monroe. What no one knew at the time was that many other athletes had been enlisted to take part in these barely legal brawls. Here we see the fearsome Wera Letat taking on a martial arts expert known only as Frank. The fighters are hoping to impress the UWA officials, but it has become clear that there are certain interested parties who view these fights as their own personal entertainment. It seems that Dino Scarlo has been acting for the benefit of those outside sources rather than his boss, Mick McManus. Even though UWA official Sorsha is on hand to safeguard the athletes' welfare, this scrapyard is still an extremely dangerous environment. The ground here is covered in gravel, broken glass, and all manner of vehicular debris. All kinds of foreign objects are ready to hand, and inevitably, they find their way into the match. The match can only end when one of the competitors declares himself unable to continue. On this occasion, it was the fearsome Wera, whose endurance led him to victory.
Finished!
That's it, finished.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah what?
Yeah.
Yeah what?
You mean?
Now the question remains, who is Dino Scarlo answering to? Things really began to get out of hand when Leon Murphy put himself into one of these scrapyard brawls.
This is Alex Shane of the UWA, and I've got some sad news for British wrestling fans. Sadly, due to a vicious manicure I incurred at the hands of a vicious musician, I will not be able to take part in the street fighting tournament later on today. But the toughest wrestler in the UWA, my tag team partner Leon Murphy, will be taking my place, won't you, Leon? So by the time the smoke's cleared, the dust settled, and it's all said and done, we'll be looking at the toughest wrestler in the UWA.
Take my jacket, will you?
And remember, men feel shame and women remember the name of Alex Shane.
Apparently Murphy's opponent didn't show up, but more importantly, it seemed Dino Scarlo had something to prove.
He hasn't turned up. I don't know. Perhaps you know something about you I don't. I've heard rumours that I'm just a puppet. Well, maybe it's time for a new sheriff in town, maybe there's not. But I feel a general lose full of fun. Just hold on for a minute.
Leon Murphy recovered from the surprise attack and took it to Dino with everything he had. With an elbow drop on the ground. Big splash on the roof of the car. The action was so fast and intense, even our cameraman wasn't safe. Leon Murphy gave it his all, but who was Dino Scarlo trying to impress? Why would Scarlo risk his position in the UWA to get physically involved in combat with one of the wrestlers? Scarlo certainly tested Leon Murphy's strength and his endurance, and the match only ended when a missed punch severely injured Murphy's hand. UWA official Sorsha stopped the fight, leaving Murphy frustrated and very eager to carry on.
Sorsha! Come on, let's go. I can carry on. Right. Kill Ellis. It's fine. No, it's fine.
But what was in it for Dino Scarlo? We know that UWA chairman Mick McManus was kept in the dark over these matches. So the question remains, where does Dino Scarlo stand? And who does Dino Scarlo answer to? UWA officials are conducting an inquiry into this sinister matter, and we will bring you any news as soon as it breaks.
We understand that since learning of Mr. Scarlo's activities, both he and UWA official Sorsha have received a stern reprimand from UWA chairman Mick McManus, who has said, and I quote, "No match may take place unless it is officially sanctioned by the UWA chairman." So that would appear to be the end of it. The question remains, how did it happen in the first place? Joining me now is controversial manager Steve Linsky, the man who represents not only the anarchist Doug Williams, but also Mad Dog McPhee and Johnny Storm. Steve Linsky, we saw you and Mad Dog last week at the Scrapyard. What was going on?
Well, let me tell you what was going on. Two things were going on. First of all, Mad Dog McPhee. This guy was training hard. You saw him taking batterings off the concrete, into caravans, off cars, on glass. You know, this is toughening my men up, giving him that competitive edge for the 10-man tournament. Secondly, you know me. What does Steve Linsky do? What does he always try and do? Make money.
Well, Steve Linsky, we have no doubt that it was certainly brutal and tough for Mad Dog. Weren't you worried about the risk of injury to him so close to the 10-man tournament?
Hey, my man ain't gonna get injured. He's tough anyway. This is just a little bit more training, just pushing him that little bit further to the edge, just to give him more edge in the tournament.
You said there were two things going on, and the second one was making money. Tell us more about this financial motive.
Financial motive? Let's just say there were certain interested parties who were working with me on this.
So who organized that match, you or Dino Scarlo?
Well, let me put it straight. Dino Scarlo was the organizer. I just reaped the rewards.
So are you disappointed to learn that these matches have been effectively banned by UWA chairman Mick McManus?
Am I disappointed? Am I disappointed? Look, at the end of the day, I got what I wanted out of this.
Well, thank you for your insight into that situation, but before you go, I have to ask you about the situation involving the anarchist Doug Williams and the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. Doug suffers the consequences of the stipulations in that match. He'll be the first man to enter the UWA TV title tournament. He'll have to beat all other 9 competitors if he wants to win that title. Steve Linsky, I put it to you, your plan failed.
My plan failed? How can you say my plan failed? Okay, yeah, I give Doug a chance. Doug blew the chance. Two other things you got to remember. Mad Dog McPhee, Johnny Storm. But going back to Doug, you put him in first, you put him in last, you put him in the middle. You put him anywhere, he's got a good chance of winning. I have faith in Doug.
Steve Linsky, thank you very much for joining us. And coming up right after the break, we'll hear the Anarchist side of the story and see exclusive footage of what happened in the locker rooms after the Anarchist was defeated by the Fallen Angel. Steve Linsky, what he thought about the Anarchist losing to the Fallen Angel last week and consequently having to be the first man in the ring for the UWA TV title winner-stays-on gauntlet match, which takes place right here in just 2 weeks' time. Now we're going to hear what the Anarchist has to say.
Hey, Doug, you ain't wrestling this match. Stevie Knight, you ain't got the wrestling ability to be in the same ring as my guy. Furthermore, Doug, you ain't wrestling this match. I want you saved for Chris Daniels. You wrestle this match, you don't get paid.
And that's how Doug Williams' nightmare began. Steve Linsky pulled the Anarchist out of a match with Hot Stuff Stevie Knight in favor of a match with American visitor, the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Hey, fat boy. Shut your mouth. Anarchist Douglas Williams, listen to me, boy. I have signed to wrestle you. All these people seem to think you're the best thing since sliced bread. Let me prove just how great I am. Hey, Knight, you can kiss my backside.
Controversial manager Steve Linsky has a very clear strategy for all the athletes he represents. It's a high-risk strategy. He always signs his stars the most high-profile match possible. But some athletes, particularly the Anarchist Doug Williams, resent having their strings pulled. In the end, the Anarchist decided that he should follow his manager's recommendation and took quite some delight in the confusion caused for UWA officials. But then events took a dramatic turn. Had Steve Linsky foreseen the UWA chairman's reaction? Mick McManus sanctioned the match between the Anarchist and the Fallen Angel, but he added a tantalizing stipulation. If the Anarchist beat the Fallen Angel, he would win the 10th spot in the UWA TV title tournament, making him the last to enter the ring. But if he lost...
If he doesn't beat him, then he's got to start from scratch. He's got to wrestle number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so forth and so on.
The UWA chairman, Mick McManus, who has been a notorious rule breaker in his day, is quite tolerant towards rule breakers, but sometimes likes to add a stipulation to keep the wrestlers on their toes. Take, for example, the Anarchist Doug Williams.
So when the match finally came, there was a lot more than a simple victory on the line. The Anarchist and the Angel seemed very evenly matched, and the fast-paced contest contained seesaw action throughout.
It's time for all you goofy, limey Brits to make noise for God's gift to professional wrestling. Anarchist! Your manager, Steve Linsky, has arranged for you to have a date with the Angel. But it's not going to be a dream date. It's going to be your worst nightmare. So my advice to you, son, say your prayers.
The Anarchist had been scouting the Fallen Angel for some time and knew that possibly his whole future in the UWA rested on the result of this match. As the match progressed, it looked like Steve Linsky's plan had worked. The Anarchist began to dominate, and it seemed as if that elusive 10th spot in the TV title tournament was his for the taking. But Linsky and the Anarchist had forgotten about Hot Stuff Stevie Knight, still smarting from that barrage of insults the week before. Stevie Knight came to ringside, distracted the referee, preventing the Anarchist from getting the 3 count when he had the Angel pinned.
Stevie Knight, you dared to step into the kingdom of the anarchist and cause me to lose my match by interfering. What a cowardly way to do it. But you think that's going to stop me winning the TV title by putting me in at number 1? Well, let me tell you about the other 9 guys. They ain't going to survive either, because they're all going to succumb to the chaos theory, and they're all going to take a damn good beating.
Immediately after his loss to the Fallen Angel, the anarchist went straight after Stevie Knight. Here you see exclusive footage of what our cameras found in the locker rooms. But nothing can change the fact that Doug Williams must now enter the TV title tournament in first position and will have to defeat 9 top athletes if he hopes to win that television championship.
Let's look at the competition in the UWA at the moment. Now you have athletes like British Beef Danny Royal, you know, you have Paul Sloan, you know, good competitors, but at the end of the day, they're no match for the likes of the anarchist Doug Williams, Johnny Storm, Mad Dog.
Hi, I'm Jamila and this is...
Hold on, honey. See, I know you usually call me your sweet and tender hooligan, but everyone else knows me as the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. Now, Jamila, I know you want to know what I'm going to do now that I'm the number 10 spot in the TV title tournament. Well, don't you worry, UWA, and all you British wrestlers here in the UK. I'm going to take real good care of that TV title when I bring it all the way back to the United States of America. And since I'm in the 10 spot, it's not going to take me very long. So Jamila, as soon as I'm done, maybe you and I can talk about that dinner you were wishing for later on. You can bring the title back with me to the US of A. Ha! Woo! You'll all bow down before the one you serve.
We're just 2 weeks away from that UWA TV title tournament. We know that the Anarchist will enter first. We know that the Fallen Angel will enter last. And we know that Stevie Knight lurks somewhere in between. We'll take an in-depth look at all 10 competitors in the TV Championship Winner Stays On Gauntlet match right here next week. Back to tonight, however, and we're heading back to ringside for a 10-minute time limit match that pits Tiger Mask against Gran Naniwa. Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen British athletes adapt brilliantly to the Japanese style. Jason Cross battled valiantly against Tiger Mask, while Kerry Cabrera fought an outstanding contest against Gran Naniwa. But now the 2 visitors from Michinoku Pro Wrestling are back, and this time they face each other.
Steve Morgan, this should be a tremendous match between 2 of the best athletes Japan has to offer, Tiger Mask and Gran Naniwa.
Kenny, I just want to know if they've both got new masks for it. No, it's the old one. God, couldn't even get a new mask.
Oh, come on, Steve. Why must you insult these men's masks so much? These masks are part of a great, long, time-honored tradition.
Yeah, pantomime.
And besides, Steve, don't you remember Kendo Nagasaki, one of the all-time greats in British pro wrestling? Don't you notice Big Papa T wears a mask, and he's supposed to be one of your favourites?
Yeah, but his mask is a little bit more stylish, Kenny. There's a difference, you know?
His opponent, also coming from Michinoku Pro Wrestling Japan, former Middle America middleweight wrestling champion, weighing in at 205 pounds, he is Gran Naniwa.
And here we see Gran Naniwa again in a mask, Steve. Yes, we know.
Kenny, this really is a meeting of masks.
But we saw Gran Naniwa just a couple of weeks ago facing Kerry Cabrera in an incredible match. Kerry, of course, came out on top in that one. And Gran Naniwa, I think, is coming in here trying to prove himself a little bit. I think he wants the British fans to appreciate just how good he is. Tiger Mask, of course, trying to keep up the momentum, but he got beating Jason Cross a few weeks ago for the MPW British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight title. This, by the way, is a non-title match, fans, because it was signed before Tiger Mask won the belt from Jason Cross. Bell rings, Tiger Mask goes to shake Gran Naniwa's hand, but Naniwa's having none of it, throws Tiger Mask to the outside straight away. Whips him into the rail. That's got to hurt Tiger Mask's lower back, Steve.
Yeah, his mask is all right, though. It hasn't been damaged.
Gran Naniwa now grabbing Paul Martin, ring announcer Paul Martin's chair. What's he going to do with it here?
He's going to get dirty with this now,
Takes a shot right into the side of Tiger Mask's head.
Unbelievable scenes, Kenny, and there's more of this to come after the break.
And during the break there, Gran Naniwa taking over on Tiger Mask 4 outside the ring with chair shots.
He plays dirty, this guy, Kenny.
He does. He can be a very vicious fighter, which is a shame because he's such a great technical wrestler, such a great high flyer. He doesn't need to do all that. But he just likes to embarrass his opponents as much as he does to beat them.
Actually, I'll tell you what, the referee looks like a member of the All-Nighters.
That's Ted Tanabe. He's one of the most respected officials in the business, Steve. I don't think you should be insulting him. He's got a very tough job to do in there, and I don't think you could do any better.
Forgive me, Kenneth. Forgive me. He's having a crack, though.
And speaking of tough refereeing jobs, Steve, I pity the person who's got to referee that 10-man gauntlet match for the UWA TV title we've got coming up soon.
You're absolutely right, Kenny. That guy is going to have his hands full.
He's going to have to deal with people like Big Papa T, who we've seen already in the last couple of weeks is just uncontrollable.
He's a gentleman.
He's going to have to deal with Mad Dog, with Johnny Storm, with Doug Williams, the anarchist. The Linsky mob is a big, big presence in that match.
Yeah, but you're talking about gentlemen who play by the rules.
I don't think so. And as we know, Steve Knight, he's not much of a fair player either. We just don't know what's going to happen with that match, do we, Steve?
Unbelievable stuff, and I'll tell you what, Gran Naniwa is not winning many fans here.
Gran Naniwa going with a big headbutt on Tiger Mask, putting him down. Now lifts him back up and goes with a snap mare. Really slowing the pace down here as he rakes at his eyes there. That's just not right. Ted Tanabe has to make him break this, surely.
Come on, Ted. Get stuck in, boy.
He's actually trying to tear the mask off, Steve.
Do you know, well, I wish him best of luck. Do you think, Kenny, that the ref in one of these matches should be made to wear a mask as well? Because I don't find Ted that attractive.
Well, I don't think it's his job to be attractive. It's his job to call things straight down the line, which is something else that seems to have been a problem in the UWA recently. What with what we've been hearing about Dino Scarlo and his shadowy contact.
Now, don't draw assumptions about Dino Scarlo.
I'll wait and see what develops, as we saw there Gran Naniwa with a headbutt followed by a leg drop into Tiger Mask's groin. Now picking Tiger Mask up, hooking him up in the corner. What's he going to do here? Oh no! Oh no! He's got his foot. He is standing on Tiger Mask's groin, Steve.
He likes going for the groin, Kenny.
That's... Oh my God,
I
Steve.
can barely look.
Oh, I have my legs crossed sitting watching this, fans. That's just... Oh, that doesn't bear thinking about.
And what you don't know, viewers at home, is Kenny's actually commentating naked.
What? What? Oh, come on! Somebody has to stop this. Naniwa is blatantly breaking the rules. This is disgusting.
That's not all he's breaking.
Oh my, this is horrible. I'm sure any women watching are thinking, what's so bad here? But believe me, every man watching this knows just how much pain Tiger Mask is in. I almost hope this match ends soon, because Tiger Mask will need to go back and put some ice on that. And there is a 10-minute time limit, so it may be over very soon. As we see now, Naniwa on the second rope, one of his trademark moves. Doing his little walk along the rope and dropping the elbow. Now is he going for a cover here? Or
has Tiger Mask got anything left in him to draw this match out of the flames, Kenny?
I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. Like I said, Steve, all that work on Tiger Mask's groin has really got to have left him reeling. And now Gran Naniwa is bringing a chair into the ring. Surely this is a disqualification. Why isn't Ted Tanabe calling for a disqualification here? He's brought an illegal object into the ring. Oh my! Almost like a bulldog onto that chair there. And that's got to have stunned Tiger Mask as well. Cover now. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Tiger Mask kicked out. As Naniwa, what's Naniwa going for the chair again? Surely, why has there not been a disqualification call here, Steve? Tiger Mask ducks up,
he's got
drop kicks the chair. Well, I guess turnabout's fair play there, Steve. Tiger Mask lifts Gran Naniwa back to his feet, whips him to the corner. Comes in, huge kick to the head.
Just when we thought Tiger Mask was down and out.
That's right, he comes back with those trademark Tiger Mask lightning fast kicks. And Naniwa is dead on his feet. Tiger Mask looks ready now. Goes with another one of those kicks, and another. And another. Naniwa falls outside the ring.
Let's pat on the back there for Naniwa.
Let's have another look at how Tiger Mask turned this match around. That huge drop kick right to the chair, springbacks. Oh my! And that was almost very nearly a space flying tiger drop, one of the most spectacular moves in wrestling. But Naniwa got onto the apron and elbowed Tiger Mask in the face. Now huge missile drop kick from the top rope. Tiger Mask out on the floor now. Naniwa's going out after him. Kicks him, gets pulled to the floor. I think he was going to go for the outside moonsault there, but he got caught. Tiger Mask now whipping Naniwa into the fence.
And some support there from the crowd. He'll appreciate that.
The fans,
none of them speak Japanese.
The fans letting Naniwa know what they think of him as Tiger Mask backs off and finally gets back into the ring. We've seen an awful lot of outside the ring action. We've seen chairs in the ring. This has been a really wild match.
Get
Steve.
back in the ring, boy.
Naniwa looks very, very tired, but it's so hard to tell with this man. Is he playing possum? Tiger Mask now sets up for a suplex back into the ring. But Naniwa reverses from behind. German suplex. Tiger Mask flips out and a drop kick. Sends Naniwa out to the floor again. Tiger Mask up to the top rope. Huge dive. Unbelievable, Steve. Unbelievable. Huge crossbody. Great elevation from the top
to
the
floor. I've always said this, Kenny. I've always said that the masks make these wrestlers more aerodynamic.
Well, maybe that is it, Steve. Maybe I was wrong to criticize you all along, because these two, with the masks on, are two incredible high flyers, as we saw with that great Tiger Mask dive.
Those masks give them an unfair advantage.
Well, they're both wearing masks
for
tonight.
a drink.
We've got a 10-minute match here, Steve. I don't know why Naniwa was wasting so much time. Surely he wants to get back in the ring and win the match before that 10 minutes runs out. I know we don't have very long. Naniwa whips Tiger Mask. Tiger Mask flips over the backdrop. And with a big belly-to-belly suplex there. Cover, 1, 2, and the bell rings!
Oh, the bell's gone and Tiger Mask has been denied a victory.
That must be so disappointing for Tiger Mask. He hits that belly-to-belly right after that great dive on the outside. Naniwa must have been just about ready to lose.
The crowd chanting for 5 more minutes because they know if it were given that much time left, Tiger Mask would have won.
Well, yeah, I would like to see 5 more minutes of this match because it's been great. Fast-paced, high-flying action all the way. They go to shake hands, and Naniwa now
he's going to take the mask off! He's going to take the mask off!
He's tearing Tiger Mask off!
He's got it!
He's trying to tear off the Tiger Mask! Somebody stop this!
Ted, get off him!
Somebody stop this!
No, this is right, Kenny!
No, this is so wrong!
This is
so wrong, Steve!
Come on, it's nearly off!
That mask is a legend. That mask is a symbol of honor and tradition for Tiger Mask. To tear it off is just a slap in the face to the whole history of Japanese wrestling. But he recovers, and Naniwa seems to have decided against that. As Tiger Mask now comes back with kicks and chops, whips him off the ropes, and a big drop kick sends Naniwa to the floor. And I think Naniwa's had enough now. Well, we see fans, our officials, now escorting Gran Naniwa out of the ring. And wrestling fans, this will go down in the record books as a time limit draw. but I think Steve a moral victory for Tiger Mask there as he salutes the fans.
And the crowd recognise that one, Kenny.
And next week, wrestling fans, will be taking a look at all 10 men who will be in the UWA television title tournament. And that match itself, we'll see a week from then.
You know, Kenny, I just can't wait.
Neither Tiger Mask nor Gran Naniwa can be satisfied with a draw, and I'm sure that score will be settled at a future date. That's all for this week. Please join us again next week, same time, same place, when we'll be taking a very special look at all the competitors who have entered the 10-man Winner Stays On tournament for the UWA television title. We'll see you then.